In today's video, we're diving into a visually stunning and emotionally stirring sci-fi, romance, and drama film from 2016 titled Passengers. This movie blends themes of isolation, morality, survival, and love set against the backdrop of deep space. Spoilers ahead. You've been warned. Let's get started. Our story begins aboard the colossal spaceship Avalon, a luxurious interstellar starship owned by the Homestead Corporation. The ship is on a 120-year journey from Earth to a distant colony planet called Homestead 2. Aboard the Avalon are over 5,000 passengers and 258 crew members, all safely in hibernation pods, programmed to wake up just 4 months before arrival. Everything seems perfect, until the Avalon encounters a massive asteroid belt. Despite advanced shielding systems, the ship suffers a direct hit by an enormous asteroid. The impact causes a cascade of internal damage. Malfunctions begin spreading across critical systems. Auto-repair systems kick in immediately, stabilizing most functions. But one malfunction slips through unnoticed. Inside that pod is Jim Preston, a mechanical engineer from Denver. Without warning, the pod awakens Jim 90 years too early. The computer systems glitch, mistakenly telling him that everything is fine, and he's just 4 months away from arrival. Jim, groggy and confused, steps into a massive hall meant to welcome hundreds of newly awakened colonists, but it's empty. He wanders the silent ship, expecting to see excited travelers just like him. Instead, it's just rows of untouched hibernation pods and automated machines. He checks in at the information kiosk, which, like the rest of the ship, only offers scripted responses. When he asks to speak to a crew member, the system politely informs him that the crew is unavailable. His confusion begins turning to dread. Eventually, Jim stumbles into a recreation room and meets someone, Arthur, a bartender. But there's a catch. Arthur is a humanoid android, programmed to serve drinks and offer casual conversation. While Arthur is friendly, his understanding is limited to pre-programmed scenarios. Realizing something is terribly wrong, Jim races to the bridge, but it's locked. Only the crew can access it. He then rushes to the hibernation bay, where all the pods are still active except his. He tries to fix his pod, re-enter hibernation, or wake someone up for help, but he fails at every attempt. He finally makes it to the observation deck, and is struck by a terrifying truth. They are not months, but 90 years away from their destination, meaning he'll live out the rest of his life alone, with no way to return to hibernation. He tries sending a message to Earth, but the nearest communications relay is light years away. A single message would take 19 years to arrive, and another 36 years for a reply. Hopelessness begins to creep in. Jim spends days, then weeks trying to stay busy. He plays basketball, dances in zero gravity, explores every part of the Avalon, but nothing replaces human connection. He begins to talk to himself, lose track of time, and fall into a deep depression. One night, drunk and broken, Jim finds the airlock and seriously considers ending his life. He steps to the edge of space, but at the last moment he backs down. Not because he found hope, but because the fear of dying alone was worse than living alone. Then something, or rather, someone changes everything. While roaming through the hibernation base, Jim sees a pod housing a beautiful woman, Aurora Lane. She's a writer from New York, and the daughter of a Pulitzer-winning journalist. Intrigued, Jim accesses her profile, watches her video interviews, reads her writing, and becomes captivated by her wit, her charm, her dreams. Over the next few weeks, his curiosity turns into obsession. He battles with himself, torn between morality and survival. Should he wake her up condemning her to die on the ship with him or let her sleep peacefully? Eventually, loneliness wins. Jim disables her pod and pretends it malfunctioned like his. Aurora wakes up confused, frightened, and alone. Jim meets her, pretends to be just another victim of a pod failure, and together they begin to piece together the situation. Aurora goes through the same shock and panic Jim once did. She tries everything to fix her pod, communicate with Earth, or reach the crew. But like Jim, she finds no way out. As the days pass, Jim and Aurora grow closer. They share stories, play games, laugh, and begin falling for each other. They go on simulated dates, dance to old Earth songs, and even take romantic spacewalks together, floating hand in hand under the stars. For the first time, Jim feels alive. But the secret still looms. One day, Jim prepares a birthday surprise for Aurora. While he's setting things up, she chats with Arthur. Before dying, Gus gives Jim his crew access band, granting them full control of the ship. With that, Jim and Aurora dive deep into the engineering deck, discovering that the asteroid strike months ago caused a coolant system leak. Now, the fusion reactor is overheating, and if it fails, the entire ship will explode. Jim volunteers to manually vent the reactor, risking death in the process. Aurora begs him not to go, still furious, but also still in love. He suits up, enters the reactor bay, and opens the vents. The release is too strong, he's blasted out into space. Aurora, crying and desperate, retrieves his tether and pulls him back in. She performs CPR, he's not breathing. But after a tense moment, Jim gasps back to life. Together, they save the ship. Afterward, Jim discovers that the medical bay has a pod capable of rehibernating one person. He offers it to Aurora, giving her a chance to return to sleep and live her life on Homestead 2. But she refuses. She chooses to stay awake with him. 88 years later, the Avalon finally arrives at Homestead 2. The crew awakens to find the ship transformed. The Grand Concourse is now filled with lush trees, plants, birds, and life, a small garden paradise, built by two people who turn their curse into a lifetime of love. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more movie breakdowns, and let me know in the comments what film you want next. Until next time, this is Movie Recap signing off.